dig, handset, no fault, Spike with the head! Spike with the head with glasses. Are you watching? Baka, ooh, ooh. Hey, Manga Tuesday. Hey, hi there. I am Darcy, and this is Manga Tuesday, episode 194. Boy, oh boy, wow, we've done a lot of them now. And today, I will be reviewing Harukana Receive. Harukana Receive is a sports manga about beach volleyball. It is 10 volumes long, so it's not too long. There are not many beach volleyball mangas out there published physically in English. In fact, this might be the only one, which is why I had to pick it up and read it. Although I guess before I get into the actual review of Harukana Receive, let me tell you a little tale of how I became interested in beach volleyball as a sport and why that led me to then want to read a manga about beach volleyball. Allow me to take you back to the 2020 Olympic Games that happened in 2021. I was just spending a lot of time watching the Olympics. I had a little bit of Olympic fever, you could say, watching all sorts of different obscure events and stuff. One of which was the beach volleyball that they were airing on, I think on TV. I just flicked it on and it was on, so I was watching it. And I quite liked what I saw. And so I started going out of my way to watch more of the beach volleyball games. And then at some point I would see the Australian team at the Olympics, mariafe and Taliqua Clancy, who were actually doing quite well. They actually beat one of the top seeded teams sort of earlier on in the bracket and eliminated them. And it's like, whoa, that's a big upset, and they're firing on all cylinders here. So I started watching them more and more and supporting them, rooting for them, and they actually won the semi-finals, which put them through to the gold medal match. I was like, oh, this is fucking epic. And I would watch that gold medal match with my nerves running. I was fully invested now. But unfortunately, they lost the gold medal match, which means they win silver, but they did not win gold. Broke my heart, but it was still just inspiring to see them get that far and do that well. And it started a seed. It started a fire in my belly. I developed a liking for the sport of beach volleyball, and I developed an interest and a passion in supporting the team of mariafe and Taliqua Clancy. Specifically mariafe. She's my favourite player. She's the shorter one of the group. She's not exactly short, but I guess she's she's definitely on the shorter side for a volleyball player, but she's feisty and energetic, and she gets those digs, and she's got that passion. She an infectious passion. She's almost the cheerleader of the duo when they're winning points, going, yes, let's go, Taliqua, yeah, wee, wow. She's my favourite player, and she's my favourite player of the group. If the group ever split up and got different partners, I would be following and rooting more for the new mariafe team. If you catch my drift there, if you dig, you know who digs? mariafe. Anyways, but mariafe and Taliqua would not play any games, I don't think, for the rest of 2021. You know, that's sort of Olympic year. They took a break after that. But then in 2022, they would start playing on the circuit again, and that's when I would say, hey, you know what? I don't just want to watch this once every 4 years at the Olympics. I'm going to watch their games. So I bought a subscription to Volleyball Network, the lowest tier, which would get me all the beach volleyball games streamed, and I begun watching them at the start of 2022. I would watch all of Mfae and Taliqua's games, and I began to learn more about the sport and understand it better, and my passion, my dedication, my spirit in supporting them and rooting for them and wanting to see them succeed grew. And they became, you know, as much as I was liking the sport, those two together, Taliqua and Mfae, became like my new sports team. A sports team that I would passionately follow and support them and them alone and root for them. And when they won, it was feelings of joy and elation. And when they lost, there was sadness and like, you know, if you support a sport team, how it feels. This is how I was feeling about this beach volleyball duo from Australia. Probably already have been, but if I haven't, I'll be just putting out random clips that I've saved, because I would also, as I was watching, I would rewatch the replays and save certain clips, and I started the beach volleyball GIF thread, so I'll be throwing random GIFs on throughout this video just to force you people to watch some great beach volleyball plays from the great mariafe and Tallulah Clancy. But anyway, let's just jump ahead to the end of 2022. There was an event in Australia, in Victoria, that's my state, and mariafe and Tallulah were there competing in that tournament. So I had to be there. So I got like 4 or so days off work. I drove down 4 hours to Melbourne, and then another hour past that, past Geelong, and to Torquay. To Torquay, I brought a tent with me. I got a campsite at a park thing and set up a tent, and it was about a 10-minute walk from there down to the beach where they were holding all the games. And it was honestly, those few days, those 3-4 days or whatever, were some of the best times in my life, honestly. Up there with some of it was just such a... I'd just wake up first thing in the morning and just start... I bought a bunch of books and manga with me in a big crate in the car so that I had stuff to do in between. So I'd just wake up in the morning, start reading manga and books, and that's when I actually started reading Sherlock, which got me back into actually reading books and not just manga again after a bit of a hiatus. But you know, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I'll just be reading manga in the morning, and then gets closer to lunchtime and it's about time for the game start, so I'll take a nice stroll on down to the beach, watch a game, then watch the MFA Tallulah game, then watch just a couple of other random games that are on, then stroll back up in the afternoon, start reading again, read for multiple more hours, and it starts getting to night, and the night games begin. So I stroll on down, watch another mariafe Tallulah game, plus a few other random games, take another stroll on back, and have a nice rest after a nice, productive day. Rinse and repeat the following day. It was just glorious times. Solo camping at this campsite, caravan park campsite. I was just loving life. A couple of months earlier, I'd gone camping with a bunch of friends, and that was another one of the high points, I guess, in my life. Memories that I will cherish forever. But then, a couple of months later, now I'm doing a solo camping thing, and I was having just as much fun. And there's another moments that I will cherish forever. But anyway, the first night I got there at the night and was quickly, rushedly setting up my tent because the game was about to begin, one of the mariafe Tallulah games. And those are the ones I really wanted to see. I wanted to see all of them. I was going to watch some other just random games from the women's and from the men's teams, just whatever else was on around the same time schedule as the mariafe Tallulah games, but they're the team that I really wanted to see, obviously. But I got there at night and was setting up the tent on the first night, and I was struggling with the tent. I had to get help from someone that... But I get down there, watch the game. I'm pretty sure I'm certain they won that first game. And then I was wandering around afterwards, and I saw Tallulah Clancy. And now I had bought a ball, and you might see a signature on there, so it might spoil this part of the story. But I bought this mini beach volleyball ball. This is the design of the ball they were using at the time I went at late 2022. But I think at the beginning of 2023 they actually altered the ball slightly. Has some like red gradient on it now, but also I think the actual mechanics of the ball are slightly different, so it reacts slightly different. But that's some just insider knowledge there, some insider baseball. I'm just spitting at you for the real beach volleyball heads, the real fanatics that know the inner workings like me. Anyway, I bought this ball because I thought maybe I'd be able to get their autograph, and then there I was on the night, and she's just standing around outside the thing at night, Tallulah Clancy, and I'm like, oh my god, that's right, I gotta go up and get her. But I was kind of nervous and shy, and I was like, and I was panicking, and I didn't go up, and she sort of left. I was like, fuck, what am I doing? I'm a fucking idiot. But then, shortly after that, I saw mariafe as well. There, I'm like, oh my god, I've got to go up now. I think I mentioned, I liked both of them, both players as a team, but mariafe is my favourite, and she's the one that I really wanted to get her autograph. I was still sort of shy and nervous. And so I was sort of just standing there looking over there like, oh. And I think someone else actually went up over to her to get like an autograph or something. Or say like, hey, woo, yeah. So I'm sort of just staring, and then I'm sort of like waiting for them to leave so I can have a moment. And I'm just, I'm getting those nerves building up, and I'm like, I gotta do this, but I can't miss this opportunity. So I'm sort of just standing there 20 meters away like a fucking creep, clearly like every now and then glancing over, and then sort of like slightly pacing back and forth, standing by myself near nothing, just in the dark. Like, gotta build up the will to just go over there. And anyway, at some point I did. I rushed over and like, hey, can I get an autograph, please? And then she signed it, and I got it. Ta-da! Ta-da-da-da-da, mariafe. And then, yes, she was very nice. She signed it, and afterwards I'm like, can I get a picture as well with you also, please? And her trainer / coach or husband, or they both might be the same person anyway, I don't know, was sort of there, and he was like, oh yeah, here, you picture? And I gave him my phone and posed, hit her with one of these and got a laugh. And then I just said, thank you, and I wish you best of luck with the rest of your games, or the rest of the tournament. And she's like, thanks. And then I just wandered off all giddy and like, oh yes, I did it. I got the autograph and I got a picture, and I went and sat down and watched whatever game was on next. And I was like, fuck yeah. But then I was like, well, I got the one I really wanted, but I would also would like to get Taliqua's, especially to have both of them together on the ball. So I kept bringing the ball with me to every other game in my backpack. But then I never saw her again, which, gee, by the way, thank fuck I actually forced myself. I really had to force myself, but thank fuck I forced myself to go up and get mariafe, because I would not have got another chance to get the picture. But yeah, with Taliqua, I didn't see her again until after the final game. There were sort of kids waiting around at the front railing, like at the actual court. And they were sort of like, the parents or some adults there too yelling out like, hey, you sign stuff, son. And she said, Taliqua, or they both sort of said, yeah, we'll come back though. They had to like go and, I don't know, do stuff after the game and then come back. So I'm like, I ain't fucking leaving. I'm waiting right near these fucking kids, and I'm slipping in with my ball, and I'm getting this autograph. And I waited, and it took fucking forever, but she come back, and so I was able to give the ball to Taliqua to sign it, and I handed it to her like this, thinking, she would sign it right sort of here somewhere, like next to mariafe's. But she sort of grabbed it and started looking around like for an empty spot. And so she signed it on like the complete opposite side. So yes, the story ends. I did get her autograph as well, but now it makes displaying it kind of hard because I can't display them both together because they're on opposite sides. Which means, Taliqua, you've been relegated to the back. mariafe is the side that gets to be on display, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long video. I just want to geek out about something that I became a fan of. Anyways, let me talk quickly about the actual tournament. They were winning a bunch of games, but the semi-final game, they lost that game. It was a very close game. Oh, and there was a lot of people there for that. At the start, there were not so many people. That's why it was probably good I was there early on, and they were sort of just walking around outside, and I was able to get the autograph and the picture with mariafe. But after that, I mean, the next day or two, there weren't that many, but slowly there was getting more and more people showing up. When they started giving out free tickets or super cheap tickets more and more as the days went on, even though I'd already paid for every day up front at full price. And, look, I'm just happy to support. I think beach volleyball needs all the support it can get, so I didn't even try and get a refund. They can have my money. It was kind of a lot of money. No wonder there weren't many people there in the early days. I mean, what were they? They were trying it. Anyway, so more and more people there. So yeah, for that semi-final match, the Australian girls, the local team, there was a lot of people there. Unfortunately, they lost, but that did mean they were going through to the bronze medal match. They were playing off for third place. That was the final game. I was there for that, and I was cheering hard. You can see me on camera. I'll see if I can find clips of me jumping. I was passionately cheering, and I was feeling every point win and point loss. Oh, and they were also playing in that bronze medal match. They were playing off against one of my other favourite teams. I don't really have any other favourite teams other than mariafe and Taliqua, except for this one other team I kind of have a soft spot for. I also kind of like them and how they play. Nuss and Cloth, the American team, or one of the American teams, there's multiple American teams. But they were still a relatively new team, I think, at the time, although they had been together a little bit. They were definitely growing and improving, and they had had some great matches against MFA and Taliqua before, like earlier in the year. Nuss and Cloth have a sort of similar dynamic to MFA and Taliqua, because one of them is already tall, and the other one is very short. In fact, Kristen Nuss is even shorter than MFA. She's really short and really good at getting those digs, getting those saves. I really respect them as a team. They're very talented players, and I enjoy watching them play. And yes, they are my second favourite team. Obviously, I wish they made it to the gold medal match, but it was great to see them competing against Nuss and Cloth. That was a great final opponent for the tournament, and what a great final match it was. And I was... Anyway, spoiler alert, they won the bronze. They got third, so it was a joyous end to beach volleyball week. I just had an all-round fantastic time. Anyway, we're going to jump ahead a fair bit. 2023, once again, I would continue watching them. Also, there was a couple of World Championships there. I think there was one in 2022 and 2023. Usually, I think it's one, they have the Beach Volleyball World Championships once every 2 years, but I think they were probably scheduled to have one in 2021, but then the 2020 Olympics got delayed until 2021, so then they probably pushed the 2021 Beach Volleyball World Championships to 2022. But then, obviously, they had another Olympics coming up in 24, so they kept the 2023 Beach Volleyball World Championships on the same year, or supposed to be, so you had two sort of back-to-back. But anyway, mariafe and Taliqua didn't do too well in either of those. So we're going to jump to 2024, the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Obviously, I was watching them all in 2023, and they had ups and downs, as they always do, win some, lose some. Going in, I think, like into 2024, one of them had been dealing with a bit of an injury, and then they had been a little bit down on form, I think, going into the Olympics. I was a little concerned. I was like, oh, I hope they can go. But, this journey of mine watching them started with the Olympics. It would be great to see them now this year change that silver to a gold. Yeah, for this Olympics, I wasn't watching any replays. I was watching every game live, and they were all at... I was on some insane schedules. There's a lot of games that I had to stay up till like 1 or 2 a.m, or sometimes I would try and go to sleep at like 10:30, 11, and then have an alarm set for 2 a.m. and get up and watch it and then go back to bed. But then there were other days where the games were at like 4 a.m, so 4 or 5 a.m-ish, so my sleep schedule was fucking cooked. I was also watching heaps of other events at the Olympics, just whatever was on when I could, but the beach volleyball ones, I had to make sure I was watching every mariafe Taliqua game live as it happened. And they had some struggles, but they were winning and they were getting it done, and they made it to the semi-final match. A win puts them through to the gold medal match, a loss puts them through to the bronze medal match, and they were playing against the current world champions at the time, the Brazilian team, Duda and Ana Patricia, who are a very good team. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be a tough matchup. But also, let me just explain how beach volleyball works real quick. There's 2 sets, kind of, but also 3. A set is to 21 points, and you have to win by 2, of course. So if you win the first 2 sets, that's it. The game's over, you win 2-0, you're done. But if one team wins one set and then the other team wins the other set, so they're 1-1, they go to a third tiebreaker set, which is only to 15 points. And once again, you still have to win by 2. So in the semi-final match against the Brazilian team, Duda and Ana Patricia, the Australians won the first set. And I was like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're on here. We're on here. This is like at 3 a.m. or some shit. I'm like, oh, come on. Oh, also, so the Brazilian team had not lost a set all Olympics up to that point. They'd been clean sweeping everyone 2-0, but then Australia, the Australian team won the first set. They were the first people in the whole thing to take a set off them, winning the first set. But then they lost the second set, so it went to a tiebreaker, and I was nervous. I don't like when they win the first set and then lose and have to go to the tiebreaker. If they're going to a third set, I like it better if they have that momentum and they win the second set. I feel like they perform better. But sometimes when they win early, they win the first set, they're up early, and then the other team comes back. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes there's it's a mentality thing or something, but I can almost feel that they're feeling the pressure, and it always concerns me. Oh, also, there was also a Commonwealth Games incident in the fact that they got silver at the Commonwealth, which I watched, but I really feel like they should have won the gold there. I feel like they were the better team. I feel like they really bottled it. They actually won silver at a previous games, which I didn't see, but at this one, it just felt like they were a really good team at the time, and they were performing really well in general, and they should have won the gold, but they didn't. I feel like that was a poor performance by them, just not winning that final match. I mean, they got a silver, and I still would say it was before performance, but, yeah. Yeah, and they had their moments in that third set, but they lost, and it was heartbreaking to watch. So they lost the semi-finals, which means they're through to the bronze. I also was beginning to feel sick, when your throat starts feeling sore. Yeah, and then like a day or so later, the bronze medal match was also at a ridiculous time, and I got up to watch it live, and I was fully sick at this point, and yeah, they lost. I wasn't feeling good about it after they lost that semi-final. It was, that was some of the worst times in my life, watching that bronze medal game. I was already upset because it was for bronze. I'm like, they already won a silver last time. Of course, it'd be great to win another medal, even if it's bronze. But it was just like, and I was feeling sick. I was tired, and then I had to watch them I was just watching the game unfold, and I just knew that they were losing and they were going to lose, and I just had to keep watching and hoping foolishly, and of course, they lost, and it was a crushing defeat, and it was just like, fuck, they were so close again. They were just 2 games away. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I don't think I watched because I was too upset, but I believe the Brazilians went on and won the gold medal, and I don't know if they clean sweeped in the gold medal match, which would mean Australia was the only team to win a set off them the whole thing. I can't. Actually, no, I think the Brazilians did lose a set. I may have watched highlights of the match afterwards when my emotions had calmed down a bit, because I feel like the Brazilians did lose a set in the game, but I'm almost certain they won the gold. Anyways, and then, since then, this is mid-2024, since then, I haven't watched another full game of beach volleyball, and I will explain why. First of all, it seems like I started following mariafe and Taliqua. In the end, it turns out at their peak, at their climax. That silver medal, I think, is the greatest accomplishment that they've done. A year or 2 before that, when I wasn't watching yet, they got a bronze at the Beach Volleyball World Championships, and I have rewatched that final match, and it's a beautiful match, and that's when they were really first starting to come up. Watching it, and it's a great match, and at the end, mariafe gets all emotional, starts crying when they win, and lets out that burst of emotions, and it really gets me. I start crying when I watch that, and it's just a beautiful game. I love just randomly going back and rewatching specifically the final set to that match.
Cook and Nicole Sanderson. Will it be Clancy and Otaccio in 2019? It's another good serve from Clancy. It's there! Bronze for Australia! And Otaccio cannot believe it. 16 years in the waiting. Australian beach fans have waited for a World Championship medal, and today is their day. Beating Switzerland 2-0.
Yeah, it's things like that, her passion, and the emotions that she shows so visibly when she plays, whether they win or lose. It's stuff like that that made her my favourite player. And I just made me want to root for her and made me want to see her succeed. But yeah, they get the third at the World Championships, they get the silver at the Olympics, and then unfortunately from there where I was, it was the slow descent in the end. Yeah, for the rest of 2024 they didn't compete, which makes sense. It was, they put it all into Olympics, and then after that they have a bit of a break. But then either very late 2024 or early 2025, Taliqua was playing in some tournaments, but with a different partner, not with mariafe, and I was concerned. I was like, oh no. Don't tell me that they're breaking up the team. They're trying something different. I was like, no. Like, is mariafe just injured and Taliqua just wants to stay active, so they're doing something like... Is this the end? Is this the end of the dream team? The reasoning would be revealed a little later on Instagram. mariafe officially revealed that she was pregnant. So that now made sense. But it still puts the dream team in jeopardy, because now she's gone through that whole pregnancy. She's had the child. It's been months after that, and there's still been no official announcement of, I'm retired. Like, I'm done. I'm starting a family. I'm not coming back. Or at least I haven't seen one. I haven't checked her Insta bio in a while. Maybe it now says former professional beach volleyball player. But I kind of don't want to check because it'll break my heart. But Taliqua's moved on, and I just wish there was official confirmation. I wish mariafe would say somewhere, if she's done, I wish she would just announce she's done, and I will mourn the loss of her career. But I think then I probably would start watching Taliqua and the new partner again, and try and support them and try and keep watching the game. But this past year I haven't watched a single game. I was kind of just too upset. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's planning to come back. It's sort of at the time now where physically I think she would be capable of starting to train again and a comeback if she wants. But obviously I would understand if she has no intentions to. But I just wish, there was an official announcement if she's planning on staying retired, that she would say, I'm retired, just so I had closure myself with knowing that the journey's done. But at the moment, it's still a question mark. I don't know. The Beach Volleyball World Championships with 2025 in Australia, in Adelaide. I was planning to go to that because I was expecting them to be at it. mariafe and Taliqua together. To be there competing. I was going to try and, But obviously, they weren't there. So I didn't bother trying to go because it would have been expensive. So right now, I don't know. Eventually I'll start watching games again because I like watching games, but think of any other sport, where you actually you have a team. Like the AFL with me, the Western Bulldogs, if they just closed down shop, if they disappeared, my passion for the sport as a whole would, disappear. Now, obviously, Taliqua and mariafe were eventually going to stop. They're not a team with a jersey where you put a different player in the jersey and it's the team. They're two people that will eventually get old enough they would have to retire and they'd be done. But with the way the Paris Olympics ended, and then we've sort of no announcement of a retirement, just they weren't teaming together anymore, and now it's in this sort of state of limbo where I don't know. It's just really how things can be cathartic? Well, this is really uncathartic at the moment. It's the exact opposite of a feeling of catharsism. I'm just sort of there's nowhere for my emotions to release. I'm just in a state of confusion. I don't know if they'll be too old by the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane, Australia. But if they somehow... maybe 5 years from now, mariafe will decide, I'm coming back. It'll be a big comeback. She'll return at the Royal Rumble, walk out, and they'll reunite with her old teammate, and then they'll go on a run, and they'll win the gold at the 2032 Brisbane Olympic Games. I don't know. I've rambled long enough. So that's why I decided I wanted to read a beach volleyball manga, because it became an interest of mine. But now that I've set the backstory we can now get to the main event. Not the review yet. We've got a challenge. I've got to compete against someone in beach volleyball, and I think you know who I have to compete against in a one-on-one game of beach volleyball.
His personality. Look, I haven't seen any of the comments. The people who liked him in the first fight.
What do you mean him?
Him as in me, referring to myself in not first person. People like Big Sexy. They might still like Big Sexy, they might not, I don't know. I don't know if this promo's doing me any good or not.
You're breaking kayfabe,
They might have turned to Dreg fans, they might abandon
the Dreg fam. Alright, what's taking this, guys?
I don't know what's taking him so long, but is that your name for your fans, the Dreg fam?
I don't know.
Not the Dreggers or the...
That's a racial slur. The Dreggers.
So you call them the Dreg fam, not the Dreggers, is that what you... Not the Dreg Mafia?
Nah.
Other sex and maniacs.
Beach volleyball, let's go!
That's a crazy
Me
outfit.
versus you.
Where did you acquire this?
This is an outfit for beach volleyball. How else am I supposed to play beach volleyball?
That's kind of
Is there a
crazy.
problem?
I've got a few problems, yeah.
Name them.
This area.
Alright, beach volleyball, let's go. In the backyard, 1v1.
Where's the beach? Also, where's the volleyball? I'm holding the basketball, but where's the volleyball? Where's the beach? Where's the net?
Here's your beach.
No, you troll. You troll. Now,
Here's your beach. You v me, let's go. Where's the beach?
I'm not doing this. This is silly. He's dressed like a fucking idiot. He had dick sand. No ball, no net. It's too hot. I give up. I didn't mean to say I'd give up. Cut that out.
Can't believe you didn't want to play.
I win via big sexy forfeit. The beach volleyball champion, the DRC, the DRC, beach volleyball champion. And Big Sexy's a sore loser. He's a bald fraud. He's a quitter. And you know what? He just quit Manga Tuesday permanently. We're done with the Big Sexy arc. No more Big Sexy challenges. I win. I win the whole thing. It's Jova. It's Jova. Big Sexy, girl, bye. You're done. I'm the champ. No more Big Sexy. He's banned from Manga Tuesday. There will be no more Big Sexy anymore. I won at beach volleyball, and Big Sexy has officially been banned from Manga Tuesday, and this time I mean it. We're done with him. We're done with him. We were supposed to play a game, and he just doesn't want to fucking do it. Refuses to record, and now I refuse to ask him to record. We're done. The Big Sexy arc, we were going to do a couple more sports. We were going to play golf. That's been cut. There'll be no golf. There'll be no nothing else. Big Sexy's getting cut. We're ending the arc mid-arc. You know how mariafe's career has ended mid-arc with no official announcement and no cathartic release of my emotions? It's just been cut off, done. That's what we're doing to Big Sexy, but I'm announcing it. So now you have your cathartic emotional release. You can cry and mourn at the death of Big Sexy's career in Manga Tuesday, but he's done. I'm moving on. Anyway, now we can finally get to reviewing Harukana Receive. It's honestly kind of bad. It's really not very good. Just story-wise and also character-wise even, it's just very, average at best, but I would say even slightly below average. It does have some great some great art. Specifically, it has some beautiful action shots. People spiking the ball, or great saves, digs. It's, but yeah, overall, it's not very good. And so for a rating, I'd have to give it a very generous 5.9 out of 10. But I guess that pretty much sums things up. I forgot to show off a quick few things that I own, for example, this hat. This beach volleyball hat that's actually a mariafe special edition hat. Also, did you notice my shirt? and some other stuff that I'm about to show off just here. Also, look at this. I have a little card, a little piece of paper. Apparently her favourite fruit is pineapples. Also, I have this. This is a Taliqua one. But it's a coin. $2 coin with the beach volleyball player on it. Taliqua. I didn't make this myself. I got a couple pictures, but then someone else got this printed out in an acrylic block and gave it to me as a present for like my birthday or Christmas, I forget. But I guess that pretty much sums things up. So thanks for watching. And as always, yes, I do have this shirt on backwards because the actual front is a lot less interesting than the back, you know, for a Manga Tuesday.
It's just another Tuesday. 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 And if you waiting for a spell where it falls into an order, you can help that. Well, yeah. No.